All right, you gotta be you can't be serious. Like this can't be real. Like, did Wowhead turn into the Onion? Like, come on, somebody switched Wowhead and the Onion or something. Because I cannot fathom the absolute insanity and ridiculous mental gymnastics required to project the things that they are putting on these characters in this story that has literally nothing to do with anything. Okay, so first of all, if you're familiar with Christy Golden, well, she's fine. I think she's fine, but they didn't say anything bad about her. Okay, cool. Now they're angry at this guy who wrote a book about the Horde, and it's just a lore book. It's not anything like important. It's not. I mean, well, who cares about lore at this point? It's basically not a thing anymore. It's gonna make me mad. All right, so exploring Kalimdor's Blizzard's most recent lore book, following Zakan. If you're not familiar with Zakan or Zakan or whatever you want to call him, he's the troll Zappy Boy. They called him, right? Like he was the guy that was pretty much with what's his name, Sourfang, and kind of trying to get him to get back into the fight. You know, he's trying to be encouraging, and they gave him a bit more of a role um, in the book that came before Shadowlands, which is fine. But here's the problem: they're acting like he's not a troll. They're they're assuming, okay, many of which are BIPOC coded. By, if you don't know what that means, biracial person of color is what that's saying. You got to have a dictionary or a lexicon now to figure out what all these acronyms they come up with are, because God forbid you just say what they are. You know, you can't just say what you mean. No, you gotta have an acronym for everything because it's so complicated. You can't just say what you mean. All right, moving on. Yeah. So anyway, this is authored by Sean Copeland, the principal historian and story and franchise development Blizzard Team. Does not seem to treat Horde history and culture with the same love and care. Oh, because he's racist? Is that what you're implying? Because he's racist against the Horde races, which are not real? Okay.
Okay!
The handling of the character Zakan, a popular but fairly new Horde character. Fairly new was within like the last year, yeah. First appeared in Battle of Azeroth cinematic. Well, I guess not in the last year. Well, kind of. He didn't really have a name for a long time. Anyway, the shaman was memeified by the Warcraft, nicknamed him Happy Boy. Yeah. Later, Zakan started opposite Sourfang, cinematic old soldier, representing the young ideas members of the Horde to make up Horde's future. He's meant to be an important character major in the Madeline Rowe novel Shadows Rising. I could not care less about Madeline Rowe. She's a horrible person. Where he was made ambassador of the Horde and tasked with aiding Talanji against the Rising and against her rule. Okay, cool. He's got some stuff going on. Though young, Zakan has shown himself to be thoughtful, intelligent, honorable, and kind. Traits that are missing in his portrayal exploring Azeroth Kalimdor. Racist? What? So he says, I'll need to have Region Lord Theron to find the words for me when we return. Despite his tense and busy aura, I found the Blood Elf Lair to be a kind man with a gift for words. Most of my reading and writing due thanks to him. Okay. What? Okay. Zakan mentions being taught how to read and write by Lothar Theron, suggesting he reached adulthood mostly literate. This makes little sense as the ancient writing tablets show trolls have been literate for centuries. Are these guys aware, these people, I don't assume they're guys, we'll just say the people, are they aware that humans have been reading and writing for centuries? And we still got people who are illiterate? Like you just didn't learn how to do it? Like you don't just know how to do it because, you know, your culture happens to do it. You don't just know how to speak and read and write just cause. Like, you actually have to learn. But God forbid he learn from a guy who's proper, you know, Lord Theron, whatever the hell, Lorthamar. I guess would be the name. Oh no, dear Lord, why would he learn how to properly speak and write a language that he didn't actually know that well to begin with? Maybe like there's different dialects. Maybe he just wanted to be more proper. It's kind of like when people use different dialects of English. You kind of sound like a goon if you don't use real words and use made up words all the time. You sound kind of stupid. That's why maybe you learn the proper words so that you don't sound like an idiot. Just saying, it's called professionalism. Anyway, moving on. As a shaman, the Khan should understand a great deal about the elements he works with. Because he says, little shows the power of the elements like thousand needles. Canyons flooded by shattering, yeah, but the twisting rock, our needle's been cut and sharpened over centuries by water. Erosion region, Lord Theron called it. To me, it'd be a reminder that all the things shaped by time, nature, are both. He's making a comment on a word he didn't know. He's not saying he doesn't understand how the elements work. He's just saying he didn't know the word for it. Okay, what's the point? What are you saying right now? The mighty gates of Orgrimmar guard the Valley of Strength, the heart of the capital. People of all kinds peddle their trades and wares here, kept safe under the watchful eye of Grom's hold. You gotta watch yourself in the market here, though. The goblin vendors will try to sell you any piece of junk they get their hands on. This time they tried to sell me water damage gnomish tools. At first I brushed them off, but my curiosity got the better of me. I asked the goblin how he got them, and the merchant bragged up a seller on Razor Hill. He didn't know that I wrote it down. Pinned to the flamethrower by a shredder. Rexar dragged me out before I could ask anything else. A common example is Zakan talks about goblins. That's how the goblins are known. They are known for being traders and, trying to squeeze gold out of everything they can and stealing things and, well, maybe not stealing things, but finding things, we'll say. That's not even just goblins in World of Warcraft. It's goblins in general. What are they trying to say here? The hatred the knights hold be holding in their hearts, easy to understand, as is their spite towards peace with the horde. Justice been denied to them, and so they cannot heal. But what I would never be understanding is why the night elves keep throwing away their precious lives into a fight neither horde nor alliance want. So Khan's judgment comes to the night elves being aggressive in the wake of the burning of Teldrassil. Yes, but they also more or less said we're not the same horde. They overthrew their ruler and are trying to make amends. So if the Night Elves are still fighting and the Horde's like, yo, sorry, we didn't, that was this, Sylvanas, she made us do it. It's my bad. Didn't mean to do it. What did we, how do we make it up? Like, if you can't make peace, like he's trying to make peace. It's all he's saying. He wants to make peace. What the hell's so bad about that? All right, whatever. Like, he knows what happened. I think he was there. Anyway. Gazlo and the Goblins. Another British criticism about the portrayal of the Goblins. Because, yeah. Oh, man. These Goblins. They're portrayed as goblins. Oh, no. A race with their large hooked noses and greed. Yeah, all right, yeah. Okay. I'll give you that does sound like they might be talking about Jews. But they're not talking about Jews. There's a lot of races with noses like that. They're just saying... Because any race can be Jewish. Just saying... Jew is not a race, it's a religion. Anyway, goblins can already be guilty of sometimes reinforcing Nazi-era-style anti-Semitic stereotypes. Wow. Wow. Somebody probably got paid to write this. Somebody's actually getting paid. I wish I was getting paid to review this. But speaking of which, press that like button so that, everybody can understand that you're not an idiot and you don't buy into this ridiculous nonsense about goblins are apparently Jews and Jews are all one race. While this doesn't necessarily make goblins World of Warcraft inherently anti-Semitic, you're right. That's the only true thing you've said so far. It does mean their handling should be sensitive to this issue. No, it doesn't. That you were so close to having a sentence that was actually correct. You were so close. Which is why it's so concerning that exploring Azeroth Kalimdor includes a mention of goblins poisoning the waters. You serious right now? Are you for real? Are you really? You're gonna think poisoning the waters, saying that doesn't. It could be anything. It's not. Well, poisoning is a well-known anti-Semitic stereotype now. That's a thing. Okay. It didn't say the well, it's just poisoning the waters. But a lot of people say poisoning the well has nothing to do with meaning Jews. It just means about poisoning the waters. What the? It doesn't even say that. It says our goblin allies spoiled waters that held life older than the one calendar. That's not. Oh, they're talking about they have pollution because they do. Because they make factories that spit out oil and stuff. What? Oh man, it's just. Where does it end? You see where it started? Did you see where it started with World of... Do you understand why World of Warcraft sucks yet? Do you understand why it's been downhill for the longest time? When you look at Final Fantasy XIV and you get on that game and you can jump on and immediately a dude in a thong and a frickin' chocobo helmet. That's what you see when you log in regularly. That's fine. You see a bunch of naked cat girls dancing. Well, not naked, but scantily clad, and no one cares. Everyone's just having fun playing a game. No one cares at all. Do you know why that is? Do you know why that's doing well? Because it's not this. It's not this stupid nonsense. God, I hate this. Many are also upset with the handling of the character Gazlo, Trade Prince of the Goblins, the chief engineer contracted by Thrall to build Orgrimmar. Gazlo has a long history of friendship with the Horde and is usually well respected and liked as a level-headed hard worker. Gazlo is portrayed as arrogant and rude. In fact, he sounds so much like Trade Prince Galliwix. If some of one of the sections involving him were originally intended for Galliwix, that was impossible. It's entirely possible. That's valid criticism. Just based on like a lore standpoint, that one, okay, I agree with that one. To whom it unfortunately concerns, the fellow currently towering above you is Rexar. I think it was the less handsome than me. Who am I? Right, the same shit. If you're still reading, then let me use small words for you. I own you, your steam wheel boss, your Bilgewater cronies, and your shoes. And I go where I want. I'm on my property, and I make Rexar say these approved words again for me. He's not really good with them, just acts as embarrassed. Appreciate your time and respect the bill for mine. Actually, that does sound kind of like Gazlo, to be honest. I don't know. That's debatable. I think that's an opinion thing, debatable. I think maybe that might be more of a absolute power corrupting, absolutely type thing. Maybe I can go with that. All in all, exploring has many fans feeling let down, and it's easy, so I want. No, it's not. It's true that sometimes lore stories that are outdated. Sometimes it's to the new lore, trying to impress. What? Oh God. I don't know where you gotta say this. I don't know why it's necessary. Fake races are fake. They're not real. They're not necessarily referencing real life races. You can't stereotype a fake race, a fictional race. You can't make stereotypes on it. Because they're not real. I mean, I guess you could stereotype them. It's called the lore. It's kind of like where they describe, like, this is a race. It's kind of like if you describe Yoda's race, and you're like, well, all of Yoda's race, I don't know if they even have a name, but all of them tend to have a affinity to the light side of the Force. That would be stereotyping. Who cares? It's not real. You're not hurting anybody. It's not real. And people are just too sensitive, but this is what I'm saying. The whole game. It used to be fun. They used to just, make stories, and then the game was fun. And then you have people that do this, and then they wonder why the game is not fun anymore. And it's because of this. It's because it's the same way that comedy is not fun when you can't talk about things. Watch the most recent episode of South Park, where Jimmy's like, oh, I can't make a joke about really anything. So he comes out and he just does a joke and he's like, wait, what if a crap? Okay. And that's his set. Like, it's supposed to be a joke because everybody's a great crap. Like, there's no joke because you can't talk about anything because people like this are like, you're just, that's too offensive. You know what? Everything is offensive. That's the point. You will always be offended by something. There will always be something to offend anyone. Anyone can be offended by anything. But my God, the people clutching their pearls nowadays, what the hell do you have to be offended about? What are you so worried about? What is so bad in your life that you have to ruin the fun of the entire world because you are offended by, I don't know. I don't even know at this point. Like, if this is your take on things, just Stop. Don't even, just don't even sit in your room in a locked room with the windows and the blinds closed, and just don't talk to anybody, and don't go on the internet, and don't do anything. Just don't do anything, because you just can't make it through life. You can't exist around people because you're not able to take a joke. You're not able to look at anything objectively. You're not able to just be. You're too soft. SAWFT. Like butter. So, all that being said, thanks for watching. I hope you, I would say I hope you enjoyed it. I don't know if anybody could enjoy it. Honestly, I know I didn't. But hope you enjoyed the video. If not, my bad. If so, please hit the like button. If you agree with me, hit the like button. If you disagree with me, give me a comment. Tell me why. I'd like to know. Tell me how I'm wrong. I would love to have that argument. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, try not to die.